Alright, what's up, guys? So, power scaling in One Piece is always a hard thing to tackle with how long One Piece is and how many factors come into play when determining like how strong a character really is. But today, I'm going to try and rank each admiral in how strong they are. Remember, this is my personal opinions, so if you disagree on anything or you have any points about anything I say, just drop it down in the comments and I'll read it and I'll probably respond. I'll mostly stick to things that are in the anime too. So if you're anime only, don't worry about that. If I do mention anything in the manga, I will tell you and I'll tell you where to skip ahead. So don't worry. Just to set some rules real quick, I will be ranking every character by how strong they are currently. So it's not about their prime. I will not include Zephyr, who is an admiral, because he's a admiral from a movie, but I never seen it. It's from Film Z, never seen it, so I'm not ranking him. And I just wouldn't want to rank a character not in the main manga in general. But any other character that was ever an admiral is fair game, so let's get into the ranking. At the bottom, I got Green Bull. But even though I got him all the way down here, I still think he is a little underrated in the community. Like, he gets hated on so much, but like, even though King and Queen were both very hurt, it's still impressive that Green Bull dealt with them so easily. I also think that Green Bull's fruit is definitely admiral worthy with how strong and versatile it is. We know all the admirals got crazy fruits, but Green Bull can compete. I considered having Fujitora at the bottom, but the problem with Green Bull is that we've seen him lacking bad. The Shanks thing was just embarrassing, and I doubt that most admirals would look that pathetic in that situation. Like, damn. So Green Bull, sorry, he ends up at the bottom. Next, we got Fujitora, and Fujitora was also pretty hard for me to rank because the thing about Fujitora is his gravity fruit that lets him call meteor strikes. It's a strong fruit, let's be honest. Like, it's pretty absurd. It makes him a menace automatically. But we haven't seen any real feats from him. In Reverie, we saw him. He has to hold back though, because the celestial dragons are there. He can't be summoning full meteor strikes. And in Dressrosa, it's such a complicated situation. Where is he even going to point his power to? And who is even going to go all out on it in that situation where he's in such a tough spot? So I'm not going to knock him for that because it's a tough spot, but I can't put him higher up than that because we haven't been able to see anything from him. So I think he's got a lot of potential, especially with his fruit, but I got to see a little more from him for me to rank him higher than this. So he ended at the 5 spot. Next, we got probably the hardest character for me to rank, Sengoku. So remember, I'm talking about current Sengoku, not Prime Sengoku. He was the fleet admiral just a couple years ago, so of course he's strong. But the problem is, he's not much of a true fighter anymore. He's old, he's out of his prime, and on top of that, he's been out of the fighting scene for a while. So that puts him under the OG3 for me, at least. His devil fruit is still broken, it's still crazy, he becomes Buddha, but we've seen old men like Rayleigh, Whitebeard, and Garp. They go crazy in One Piece, even though they're so old. So that's a little props to Sengoku. I believe he could do that. But he's just been out of action a little too long. So I still got him pretty high despite his age. I'm just not letting him get any higher. Also, I don't think he's as strong as Garp in my opinion. So next we got Kizaru. I see him as probably the weakest of the OG3 admirals, although I think all the OG3 are super strong in my opinion in One Piece. We saw him in pre-time skip, we saw him in Sabaody. He obliterated the worst generation. He had one of the craziest entrances, entering on a cannonball, and he went toe-to-toe in Rayleigh with Rayleigh in that one arc. Alright, real quick, skip ahead to avoid manga spoilers. Skip ahead to the next ranking, the next character, because everything I'm about to say with Kizaru is spoilers. If I'm being honest though, his egghead performance was a bit disappointing for me. He still completed his main objective, and the situation was obviously complicated with the moral conflict he was going through with his relationship with Vegapunk, and just, it's such a chaotic situation. But the big thing that disappointed me was his durability. One star gun punch to the head, he's out. And then he gets back up, he's back in commission, he's out of commission again because he gets turned into a pancake. Pretty disappointing, I'm not gonna lie. Even I wasn't even sure if I'd put him over Sengoku, but he does have some pretty crazy abilities. He pushed Gear 5 Luffy to some pretty high lengths, so he's still pretty impressive. He's just not impressive enough to be top 2, I guess. Well, next we got Aokiji. So if you thought I was gonna have him over Akainu, you're a little rascal, because there's no shot. I get that Aokiji was at an elemental disadvantage against Akainu in their 10-day fight, with it being ice versus magma. Like, obviously magma has the advantage, but a loss is a loss. And on top of that, in that fight, Aokiji lost a leg. So I feel like that's a little debuff to his strength a bit. Although I will admit, losing a limb in One Piece is nothing that crazy. We got Kid using a metal arm to replace the arm that he lost to Ben Beckman. We got Shanks not even replacing his arm. He'd just be swinging with one arm, and he's still a top tier fighter. With Aokiji's Ice Fruit, he can replace the leg, which makes it not too big of a worry. But so I have Aokiji over everyone else. It's just, I don't know. Over Akainu, I can't do it. I just can't do it. His fruit is insane. He controls it really well. His raw strength is insane because he was under Garp, and Garp is a muscle menace. Like, he was punching ships and everything. So he's also got crazy hockey, which we saw in his fight against Garp with their hockey clashes. Yes, Garp did kind of get jumped, but Aokiji was still probably the main guy and the main reason why they beat Garp. So it's still an impressive feat to me. I think Aokiji deserves the number 2 spot, just not enough to beat the Fleet Admiral himself, the current Fleet Admiral, the man with the most destructive devil fruit in One Piece, the man with that really funny edited manga panel, Akainu. Of course, the fact that he's the current Fleet Admiral brings him up for me, but a big thing is the fact that he's just such a beast. In Marineford, we had already seen how strong Kizaru was in Sabaody before Marineford. We'd seen how strong Aokiji was in Long Ring Longland, but Akainu, he was a bit more of a mystery, fresh into Marineford. But man, he went so crazy in that arc, it's insane. He took half of Whitebeard's face, then he one-tapped Ace, and he was still fiending for more. Yes, he doesn't do much nowadays. He's Fleet Admiral. He spends most of his panels just being mad, making mean faces. But I know when he fully returns in the Final War arc, because I know Oda's going to make some crazy Final War arc, Akainu's going to go pretty crazy. Easy top 1 Admiral for me, in my opinion. Even over Prime Sengoku, if I was including Primes. So that's my full ranking, Bubbas. Subscribe if you're down, because I'm trying to get monetized. Alright, see you guys.